really don't know if I have much commentary to this. But here is a sad, desperate man who now has to go on Newsmax to get any attention, who has decided that he's trying to compete with Ben Shapiro to be Pope of the Jews. I give you the guy everybody hates. All his friends, Alan Dershowitz.
You get inadvertently, you get the social media supporting Hamas, the New York Times supporting Hamas, and it sends a very powerful message. Do it again. Kill children, kill civilians, attack, commit war crimes. You'll prevail on this because of the anti-Semitism that stimulates so much of this. And you can be a Jew and an anti-Semite. Biden has made some strong statements positively, and I commend him for that. But Bernie Sanders, who's Jewish, is a self-hating Jew. A self-hating Jew who is willing to see Israel be defeated militarily by a terrorist group because he's on the hard left and he has to follow the hard left. And that's what he has been doing.
I mean, honestly, F that guy. F him for equating both, there is no threat. Military threat from Hamas to Israel. I'm sorry. If you want to say there's a threat to Israelis, like you could get civilians killed, you can say that. But you also then have to recognize, which he does not. Alan Dershowitz said far more Palestinian children, far more Palestinian women, far more Palestinian civilians have been killed and will be killed. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. I will bet every dollar that I own against every dollar that anybody else owns, that if there is a conflict in 3 months between Israel and the Palestinians, if there's a conflict 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 hours, I will bet you that more Palestinian civilians will die than Israeli civilians. Period. End of story. And there is a legal concept for that too. The professor of law should understand that concept. What a reasonable person could presume would happen under these instances. And he completely ignores it because he's a scumbag. He's a dirty, dirty scumbag. And the idea that he is, making this about Bernie Sanders or anybody being a self-hating Jew because they will not sit there and allow for people in the name of their religion, because Israel does not own Judaism. That you sort of feel like you might have to tell people that. Israel does not own Judaism. That they can in any way invoke Judaism or anti-Semitism in this question is repugnant. It's repugnant. He's a repugnant man. It is a repugnant thing for him to say.
Well, they're conflating those two things by design.
Of course.
I mean, he is... First of all, just from a personal perspective, what an arrogant son of a bitch to say who's really Jewish and what is in Bernie Sanders' heart about his... but the audience isn't what he's pretending that it is. It is for right-wingers who watch Newsmax for who are probably not many Jewish Americans watching Newsmax, right-wing white people for the most part, evangelicals. He's trying to give them some sort of lesson as a Jewish man there in what Jewish people actually think. And it's really something that's wrong internally with Bernie Sanders, that he has this position, as opposed to some sort of, self-examination on Dershowitz's part. But I forgot that Dershowitz was the arbiter of all moral authorities on everything. He should ask his friend Jeffrey Epstein, he's dead, but maybe what he thinks about those things. I was wondering if Dershowitz was going to bring up his past there, but guess it wasn't relevant to the conversation. But I made it relevant. If we're gonna harp on somebody's morality without knowing them at all, we're pretty sure we know what Dershowitz's morality is, given his history.
I sure hope that Dershowitz is still being shunned by everybody and don't invite him to dinner parties. I hope that's ongoing. That's
hope he can't get a reservation on Martha's Vineyard and he acts like he's the most the oppressed
Most
person.
persecuted Jew since Jesus.